Pick me up, now I'm set apart. From the ash I am born again, forever safe in the Savior's hands. You are more than my words can say. I'll follow you, Lord, for all my days. I'll fix my eyes, following your ways, forever free in unending grace. 'Cause you are my freedom. We lift you higher, lift you higher. You love, never ending. Whoa, oh, oh. You are light in us, nothing can take your place. You are all we need, your love has set us free. Whoa. Darkest night, let your love be the shining light, breaking chains that were holding me. You sent your son down and set me free. 'Cause you are my freedom. We lift you higher, lift you higher. You love, never ending. Whoa, oh, oh. You are light in us, nothing can take your place. You are all we need, your Lord has set us free. You are light in us, nothing can take your place. You are all we need, your Lord has set us free. Whoa. You are my freedom. We lift you higher, lift you higher. Your love, never ending. Whoa, oh, oh. 'Cause you are my freedom. We lift you higher, lift you higher. Your love, never ending. Whoa, oh, oh. You are light in us, nothing can take your place. You are all we need, your Lord has set us free. You are light in us, nothing can take your place. You are all we need, your Lord has set us free. Whoa. Oh God, I know you're always near. So even in the dark, I will not fear. I know the storms will come, I know I'm not alone. You are my strength, so I will say, you make me brave, you give me courage. I won't be afraid, I won't even worry. 'Cause you've got the whole world in your hands. You fight for me, you help me stand. You make me brave, you give me courage. Oh God, you always bring me peace. You are a fortress around me. Even when my heart breaks, even when there is pain, you will be my strength, so I will say, you make me brave, you give me courage. I won't be afraid, I won't even worry. 'Cause you've got the whole world in your hands. You fight for me, you help me stand. You make me brave, you give me courage. every day, strength and courage. I can do all things through Jesus, my Savior, who gives me strength every day, strength and courage. You make me brave, you give me courage. I won't be afraid, I won't even worry, 'cause you've got the whole world in your hands. You fight for me, you help me stand. You make me brave, you give me courage. I won't be afraid, I won't even worry, 'cause you've got the whole world in your hands. You fight for me, you help me stand. You make me brave, you give me courage.
Everyone is part of a bigger story. It's a bigger story than you can imagine. It's a big story about a really big God. Discover the story that shows you the character of God. Hey, I'm Caleb, and this bright spot right here is my Bible. Whether you read it on paper, online, or on screen, this amazing book reveals God's very own words, written down for us. All 66 books of the Bible join to form God's story. How God imagined us, created us, and loves us so much, He made a way to rescue us, even though we've turned away from Him. I know things may look dark sometimes, but God has already written the end of the story. And for those who follow Him, it's brighter than you can imagine. Believing that light can break through the darkest night, that's true hope. And I've got 4 stories to show you what it looks like. We'll spend the whole month in the book of John. This book was written by one of Jesus' closest friends who traveled by his side for nearly 3 years. In John 11, we're nearing the end of those 3 years, and Jesus receives bad news, the worst. His good friend Lazarus has died. All eyes are on Jesus to see how he'll respond. What does he do first? Well, he grieves. He weeps over the death of his friend. But what he does next is gonna make you wanna say, "Get out." Time to slide to chapter 12. Jesus and his friends are heading into Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover. You'd think God's Son would make his entrance on a royal chariot or riding a regal white horse, right? Instead, Jesus picks a form of transportation that's a little less impressive and a lot more stubborn. The story moves fast now, because despite the applause on Sunday, Jesus is heading into a hornet's nest. The religious leaders have been searching for a way to take him down. They use a friend's betrayal to arrest Jesus. He's given a mock trial, and then lied about, and then condemned to die. The perfect Son of God, who's never done anything wrong, is nailed to a cross. And when he breathes his last breath, the sky goes black, and the whole earth quakes. It's over. Finished. The end. Except, it's not. Spoiler alert. Big spoiler alert. 3 days later, the tomb is empty, and Jesus appears to some of his friends. But not everyone's buying it. When others tell the news, one disciple, Thomas, scoffs in their faces. He's like, seeing is believing. But within moments, Jesus gives him something to see and believe. The death of God's own Son was the darkest moment this world has ever known. But when God raised Jesus to life, he made a way for each of us to have life forever with him. That's our true source of hope. And I can't wait to see how it plays out in you and me.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday, dear Tyson. Happy birthday to me. Hey, I'm Tyson. My friends call me Ty. They're actually supposed to be here right now. They were gonna come help me house sit for my neighbor and, celebrate my birthday, but some things came up and they couldn't make it, so I'm still holding out hope that this will be a really good night, though. Hope is believing that something good can come out of something bad. So, here goes nothing. What really bums me out is that my friends promised me they'd be here. I mean, I get it, things happen, but a promise is a promise. But didn't I already do this? My friend Chase. So he can't come because he's trying to do some kind of pogo stick record, and Haley had a last minute band practice, and Emma's computer got sick or something. I didn't really understand what it was. What? Come on. Now I'm stuck here for another night all alone. And between you and me, this house it's kind of eerie. There's like creaky floors, weird noises and candles that light themselves. Come on, stay out. Stay out. Got it. Now, I wish my friends had just kept their promise. Hey, you know what though? Today's story is all about a promise made a long time ago. Out. Out. Stay out. Stay out. Come on, no. All right, where's the fire extinguisher? There's gotta be a fire extinguisher around here somewhere.
The Bible isn't just a book of random stories. It's 66 different books that come together to tell one story. An incredible one. About God's love for us. And now for an amazing story.
Inspired by the book of John, chapter 12, verses 9 to 16.
Inspired by God, the prophet Zechariah had once written,
City of Zion, be full of joy. People of Jerusalem, shout. See, your king comes to you. He always does what is right. He has won the victory. He is humble and riding on a donkey.
Many centuries had passed since Zechariah had shared these words. Now, many Jews were convinced that Jesus was their king from God. The Jewish religious leaders were shaken, especially after Jesus had raised his friend Lazarus from the dead.
He's a menace.
He's making such a mess. The Romans will step in and the trouble will begin. He's doomed us more or less.
He's spreading mischief.
It's better that he die so the nation can be saved and the Romans kept at bay. We're gonna get this guy.
Jesus knew the religious leaders were plotting to kill him, so for a time, he stayed in the desert near the town of Ephraim, a day's journey from Jerusalem. But as the Passover neared, people started to wonder whether Jesus would come to Jerusalem for the celebration.
What do you think? Is he going to show up?
He better stay away, bless his heart.
Why is that?
Why, bless your heart, don't you know? The priests have ordered everyone to tell them if Jesus so much as sets foot in Jerusalem.
So they can hear him teach?
So they can get him. Don't bless their hearts.
Despite the danger, Jesus traveled back toward Jerusalem, stopping in Bethany at the home of Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. His close friends, including Peter and Thomas, were likely on edge.
So many people following Jesus now.
Because he raised Lazarus.
He's making himself an easy target for the religious leaders.
The disciples may have hoped that Jesus would slip quietly into Jerusalem, but before Jesus even started out, the crowd that traveled to Jerusalem for the Passover got word.
He's on his way.
Well, that'll lead to trouble, bless his heart.
Hundreds of people broke branches from the palm trees and hurried out of the city toward the Mount of Olives to meet Jesus on the road. From the hill, Jesus and his friends could see the whole crowd. Jesus knew the time had come for him to fulfill the prophecy.
City of Zion, do not be afraid. See, your king is coming. He is sitting on a donkey's colt.
So Jesus chose a young donkey.
Here, let me make a seat with my coat.
Use mine too.
Jesus got on the back of the donkey and rode slowly down the Mount of Olives towards Jerusalem. The crowd went wild when they caught sight of him.
Hosanna!
They waved their palm branches like banners and tossed their coats down onto the road in front of Jesus.
Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord! Blessed is the King of Israel!
Bless his heart!
Wait, who are those guys?
Where? Oh dear!
In the midst of joyful praise, several glowering religious leaders pulled Jesus aside.
You're mad.
Make your friends put a stop to this silly parade. We must be obeyed, or we'll stamp it all out from the top.
No threat could sway Jesus. He knew his mission.
I tell you, if these people keep quiet, the stones will cry out instead.
Jesus and his friends made their way into the city, leaving the religious leaders to stew in their own fury.
He's causing mayhem.
This whole thing is no fair. It's time to move fast before our chance is past. The people chase him everywhere.
Though the religious leaders refused to see it, Jesus had shown his followers yet again that God was fulfilling his promises. And he would keep on doing it, no matter how dark things became.
Relight candles. Should have known. My friend Chase gave me these. He's such a joker. You know, when a person doesn't keep their promise, it kind of makes you feel bad, doesn't it? But people break promises all the time. They promise they're going to be somewhere and they don't show up. They promise they'll let you do something, but then they take it back. They let you down over and over again. And other people aren't the only ones who break promises. I bet you have broken a promise before. I mean, I know I have. But you want to know what the good news is? When God makes a promise, he keeps it. Every time. Forever and always. And you know how I know that? Because it's happened before. And we read about it in the Bible. God promised this dude named Abraham that he'd have a huge family, even though he was like 100 and didn't have any kids. And guess what? Abraham ended up having a bazillion descendants. God promised a kid named Joseph that he'd be a ruler when he grew up, and guess what? He was. That's exactly what happened. God promised his people that he was going to send a savior to the world, and he did. He sent us Jesus. And there are promises for me and you today too. Jesus promised to always be with us. So even though my friends didn't show up tonight, I'm still not alone because I believe Jesus is always with me. The one thing I learned today is this. Whatever happens, remember God keeps his promises. You can trust him no matter what. So, now, I'm going to eat cake. Oh, there's a doorbell. Oh, I better get it before they ring it again. Surprise! What? You guys came? No way! My friends, they're here. They actually came. Guys, I have cake. Who wants cake?
Chocolate! Candy! Chocolate! Pig! 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 Chocolate! Chocolate! Candy! Candy! Chocolate! Brandon!
Happy Easter, everybody!
Hello, people. I'm John.
And I'm Brandon, and you are tuned in to the So-and-So Show. John, why don't you tell everyone why you are dressed so brightly?
Because it's Easter! Yeah!
So I'm guessing for you, it's a tradition to get dressed up on Easter.
Oh, you bet it is. Yeah, this baby's been hanging in my closet all year, just waiting for this day to be worn by moi.
And you wear it well.
Thank you.
John, do you ever wonder what kind of Easter traditions other people have?
Every day.
Well, you're in luck, because today we're going to explore Easter around the world.
Whoa! In Bermuda, they celebrate Easter by eating hot cross buns.
All right! Hot cross buns, hot cross buns. 1 a penny, 2 a penny, hot cross buns. Everybody, hot cross buns, hot cross buns. You know this one, come on, sing it.
Did you just make that up?
No, it's very famous. These guys know it. Come on, sing along, everybody, come on. Hot cross buns, hot cross buns. Give them to your daughters, give them to your sons. 1 a penny, 2. Just forget it.
Done! Let's eat!
All right.
Come on in.
Yeah, come on, crew.
Come on. Yeah. Woo!
You know it. Hot cross buns. You know it?
Oh.
They didn't leave us one.
Oh. Those are hot! Those are hot!
Mm. In Norway, people read mystery novels on Easter. Who do you think did it?
The butler.
It's always the butler. You've heard of egg hunts? Well, in Bulgaria, they have egg fights for Easter, and the winner is the person with the most unbroken eggs. Are you ready?
Hey, why do you get a poncho and goggles?
Go!
Oh! Oh! Ow!
Ah.
Oh! Oh! Oh, yes.
Oh, man. Okay, do not try this at home, kids.
Yeah, don't try this at home.
I'm not sure this is how they try it in Bulgaria either.
I don't think so either.
Okay. Hey, look! I have one that's not broken.
Oh, yeah!
Not even a crack.
See that?
Yeah.
Oh, now it does. I win!
It's Bible story time with Kellen.
Hey! Happy Easter, guys!
Hey, Kellen!
Hey, how do you celebrate Easter, Kellen?
Well, I go to church with the fam, and afterwards, if the weather is right, we go out and fly kites. I've been doing that since I was a kid.
So, no egg fights? Don't?
No. But how we celebrate Easter isn't as important as why we celebrate. And that's the story I'm telling today. Lights! After they had celebrated the Passover feast, Jesus and 11 of his disciples crossed the Kidron Valley into the garden. The 12th disciple, Judas, was there as well, but he came to betray Jesus. Judas led a group of soldiers and officials to take Jesus by surprise and arrest him. But Jesus knew everything that was going to happen to him.
Who do you want?
Jesus of Nazareth.
I am he.
When Jesus said that, the soldiers fell to the ground.
If you're looking for me, then let these men go.
No!
One of the disciples, Peter, drew his sword and cut off the ear of the high priest's servant.
Put your sword away. Shouldn't I drink the cup of suffering the Father has given me?
So Jesus was arrested, tied up, and taken to be questioned.
Tell us if you are the Messiah, the Son of God.
You have said so, but here is what I say to you. From now on, you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One.
He has spoken a very evil thing against God. He must die.
Meanwhile, just outside, Peter had questions of his own to answer.
You aren't one of Jesus' disciples, too, are you?
No. No. I am not.
3 times Peter denied knowing Jesus. Jesus was then brought before the Roman governor, Pilate.
I find no basis for any charge against this man.
Crucify him!
Crucify him!
So Jesus was sentenced to be crucified. The soldiers took charge of him, and Jesus was made to carry his own cross. They walked to a place called Golgotha, or the skull. They nailed Jesus to the cross. The soldiers played a game to decide who would get Jesus' clothes.
I am thirsty. It is finished.
After he drank from the sponge that was offered to him, Jesus bowed his head and died. Jesus' body was taken down. He was wrapped in strips of cloth, and then he was buried in a tomb, a large stone covering the entrance. All hope was lost. And then, on the 3rd day,
They have taken the Lord out of the tomb. We don't know where they have put him.
Peter and John ran to see if what Mary Magdalene had told them was true. They found the stone rolled away from the entrance, and more importantly, there was no body on the inside. Jesus was gone. Confused by what it all meant, Mary stood by the tomb and cried.
Woman, why are you crying? Who are you looking for?
At first, Mary didn't recognize the man who was speaking to her. She thought it was the gardener.
Sir, did you carry him away? Tell me where you put him. Then I will go and get him.
Mary.
And then she knew. It was Jesus. He wasn't dead. His body wasn't missing. He was standing right in front of her. He was alive.
Teacher.
Go to those who believe in me. Tell them I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God.
Mary went to the disciples with the news.
I have seen the Lord.
And they were amazed. That story is why we celebrate Easter. It's why we can have hope no matter what happens, because Jesus was dead and now he's alive. He's more powerful than anything, even death itself. What do you guys think about that?
That's awesome, Kellen!
No wonder people celebrate this day all over the world.
I know! What God did on that 3rd day is the most amazing thing that has ever happened in history. We can't forget it. So throw a parade like they do in Italy.
Or break a bunch of clay pots like they do in Greece.
Or roll eggs out on the lawn like they do in the United States.
Yeah.
Just don't forget why you're doing those things. To remind you of how our strong and powerful God brought his only son back to life over 2,000 years ago. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go fly a kite.
Bye, Kellen.
Yeah, see ya, man.
Now I'm wishing I was better dressed.
Now I'm wishing I had hot cross buns.
Oh yeah, hot cross buns. Hot cross buns. Fine, okay, fine. Reveal the question.
What does Easter mean to you?
Talk about how this holiday makes you feel.
And the things you do to celebrate it.
Happy Easter from
The So-and-So Show!
They're good.
I'm gonna eat one.
Hot cross buns. Hot. It tastes better when I sing it. Hot cross buns. Hot cross buns. 1 a penny, 2 a penny, hot cross buns. Give them to your daughters, give them to your sons. 1 a penny, 2 a penny, hot cross buns. Everyone!